What's going on, guys? Welcome back for Sunday's analysis. Today is August 6th, 2023, and we're going to look at NASDAQ and see what it did this week, last week, and prepare for what's going to happen this week. So let's get started. Here on the monthly time frame, we see that price pushed up, created a higher high, pulled back into discount zone for a lower low, and then is pushing back up higher. So what do we see here that it did? It did pull back into a discount zone right here, tapped into this order block, which it did respect, but it also tapped into this fair value gap right here that's resting right below this order block. Also underneath the discount zone, this is the first fair value gap that we see, tapped into it, respected it, pulled up, came back into it two more times, completely displaced higher. So right here, what else can we see? On the move lower, we could see that there's sell side right here that's been taken, right here been taken, and this sell side's been taken as well. When it took this sell side right here, it displaced higher and completely ran through this high right here, breaking structure and creating a shift in market structure. Now, also, we see that there is a small fair value gap right here that it did run through, and now it's pulling back into it. So what could potentially happen for this monthly time frame is I could see price tap into this fair value gap just slightly for it to continue going higher and initially take out these highs. So we're speaking long term right here for the monthly time frame. So this is what could happen. Also, what could happen as well for this is we could also see a pullback into the discount zone right here, tapping into this order block, which could potentially become a propulsion block if it's respected, and then price continues going higher. So that's what we have on the monthly time frame. We see that price is clearly heading up to this buy side liquidity that's resting above here. It violated all of these fair value gaps and these bearish order blocks, completely ran through them, created a shift in market structure, and initially it is drawing towards these buy sides right here. So going down to the weekly time frame, what do we see here? So again, here's the high right here for the monthly time frame. I'll draw this instead, keep it blue so we can know where the buy side is. This is the monthly buy side liquidity. Monthly buy side resting above here. So on the weekly time frame, what can we see here? Of course, we can see all this sell side liquidity been taken out right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here. This sell side slash order block right here is yet to be taken out, but it looks like price wanted to reverse back up, display, shift in market structure, as we see right here, like we just saw on the monthly time frame. So price did break above it, and it's continuing going higher. What do we see right here on the weekly time frame? We see that there's a fair value gap right here that price did barely tap into, but it did reject it and continue going lower. So if we look at previous weeks, this is week of July 24, 2023. This high right here has been taken out by this high. If we look right here for this high is 15,917. This high right here is 15,904. So it ran through this high, which on the lower time frames we could see much clearly, but this is what the higher time frame candles look like. So on the lower time frame we can see when we zoom in, we'll see a better idea. But right here on the weekly time frame, price did go up, take out these highs, and then ran straight down, ran through these lows right here. So this is exactly what the market looks like it did. So it created low, ran up, and then took out these highs and completely took out these lows. So now what I can expect the price to do is pull back up into this low right here, which is this low right here, and then continue going lower. This is what could happen and what I'm anticipating price to do, unless it wants to just respect this order block right here, which it did tap back into. If it wants to respect this order block and continue going higher, then I want to see price run through this high and initially take out this external buy side right here. So on the weekly time frame, price did create lower lows and lower highs, swept through this high right here, and then violated all of these fair value gaps that's resting within these large moves lower. Going down to the daily time frame, this is still the same weekly time frame, fair value gap right here. So on the daily time frame, we can see that price barely tapped into it right here. When it tapped into it, we can see that it created a fair value gap right here, which has been respected. As we can see from the bodies, they closed within the fair value gap, and then it failed to break this high for now. Completely went lower. This is the same low that I'm talking about from the weekly time frame. Let me just draw it out right here. If I were to take this low right here and this high right here, this is what it would look like on the daily time frame. Okay, so here's the high right here. It swept through it with this candle right here, broke it. Here's this low right here, ran through it. What did it do when it ran through the sell side right here? It left behind a fair value gap. And what happened next? Price tapped back into the fair value gap and continued going lower. So far it has yet to break this low. If we look up here at this low, this is 15,339.50, and right here is 15,336.50. So it did get sweep through it just slightly, but to me this doesn't look like a sweep of liquidity. To me this looks like relatively equal lows that are resting within this daily fair value gap right here. So I would like to see if price wants to respect this fair value gap and continue going higher, or if it wants to violate it and target these lows right here. So if it were to respect this fair value gap right here to confirm the move higher, what I would like to see is price take out this high with energy, not just sweep through it with a wick, but I'd like to see price run through this high, completely violate this fair value gap, disrespect this fair value gap, run above it, in order for me to wait for a pullback. So this is what the market would look like right here. This is, I just drew out exactly what this did right here. So price made higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, equal lows, higher highs, and then lower low. It swept through this low right here, left behind a fair value gap over here. Okay? And then if price were to respect this fair value gap and draw towards this buy side liquidity resting up here, this is what I want to see. I want to see price violate this high energy and disrespect this fair value gap in order to continue going higher and initially sweeping this buy side right here. Otherwise, what price could do if it wants to continue going lower, since it already tapped back into this fair value gap, I want to see price disrespect this fair value gap, turn it into an inverse fair value gap, and then continue going lower and filling this volume imbalance gap. So this is what we have on the daily time frame. We just went through the weekly time frame. Now let's go to the hourly time frame. Okay, so price tapped into the fair value gap, completely went back lower, retested, took out, created equal highs actually right here, and then when it pulled back and displaced higher, this move was the one that took out these relatively equal highs right here. Okay, it took them out right here with this move, tapped into this fair value gap that's resting right here, which it does have a gap right here that it is yet to tap into. So I'd like to see that get tapped into eventually. But after this buy side resting up here, relatively equal highs have been broken through. Price did break above it or slice above it, but it showed a rejection immediately. Showed a huge rejection immediately, right back into it. Broke through this low. I'm not counting this candle because this candle right here was probably news, and it was just a liquidity sweep on the lower time frame. So I'm counting this candle right here, which it did run through, retrace back up higher, filling this fair value gap but respecting it, and continued going lower. Eventually this has been taken out, then all this sell side has been taken out. So on the hourly time frame, again, these are the lows that I want to see get broken through in order to be able to remain in a internal bearish market for now. Price displaced lower, consolidated for a little bit, made another move lower, came back up, took out these highs, continued going up, swept internal liquidity, displaced higher, tapped into this fair value gap slash large order block, tapped into this fair value gap right here, just barely. So if we look at the high right here, the high right here is 15,610 and a quarter, and right here is 15,609 and 3/4. So it barely just tapped into this fair value gap right here, which I will mark with a line, and then it displaced lower, breaking the structure, taking out all this sell side liquidity, took out this liquidity. It sliced through this liquidity right here, but this is not what I want to see. This to me is not a valid sweep of liquidity. This to me is just price creating relatively equal lows. So what I would like to see is price pull back into discount zone and then respect it. I don't want to see it break higher. I want to see it respect the discount zone in order for it to continue making its initial move lower, taking out these relatively equal lows. So that's what we have for today. I'm trying to keep it short and quick just to give you guys an idea of what's going on with the market and what we should be anticipating for next week, just to be prepared for what's coming and not be blindsided by what's happening. So since we are in a daily fair value gap right here, I want to see if price is going to respect it on the lower time frame, or if it wants to run through it and take out this sell side liquidity right here. And if it does, then I can confidently see price take out the remaining sell side liquidity, and it could pull back a little bit more just until it gets into its discount zone before it makes its initial move higher, which for now, if we were to mark it on our calendar, on our chart, discount zone right here, daily time frame, which could be in this area right here. This entire zone would be our discount zone. So if discount, let me just make it green, if price were to disrespect this fair value gap, take out this sell side liquidity right here, then eventually I want to see it tap into the discount zone in this area. But long-term bias on the monthly time frame, I see that there's buy side right here. Price violated this fair value gap, resting right here. violated it, closed above it, tapped back into it, doesn't want to respect it, or doesn't want to retrace back into it and continue moving, making its initial move higher. So best thing we could do now is just wait and see for what price is going to do tomorrow and see what we can get from there. Now, I'm not expecting a lot of movement next week just because there's not any high impact news that are releasing until Thursday. So I will use Monday, potentially Tuesday, to just get more information on the market and identify where the next sweep of liquidity will be, because that's what we target and that's what we want to see. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next week, if you have any questions or any concerns, if you need help or would like to share what you know, feel free to join the Discord. We have a community where a bunch of ICT traders like myself and like you share each other's knowledge and help each other grow and achieve our goals. But until then, have a good rest of your night or a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys soon.